There's so many memories that surround the holidays that just are. And for me, some of them have always stood out more than others are the ones that surround Christmas. Growing up as a PK, a pastor's kid, we always spent a lot of time at church and at church activities. It was often the center of our social life as well. Most of the time during my dad's career, he served in smaller rural churches and usually served 2 points, two churches. So every year we would take part in or go to 2 Christmas programs, 2 sets of Advent services, 2 Christmas parties, and 2 Christmas Eve services. Of all of those, Christmas Eve was always my favorite part of the whole season and still is to this day. I love the soft lights, the music, the candles, everything about those moments. Quite often the churches that we served there was one larger one, and that's where kind of the main church was, and then a smaller, more rural church. And we usually lived in the town with the larger of the 2 churches. The Christmas Eve service would be there first, usually around 7 o'clock. And then the second service would be at the smaller rural church around 10 or 11 p.m. So after the first service, we'd go home, eat some Christmas cookies, watch TV for a little while, and then head out to the later second service. That service was always so beautiful. It seemed cozier somehow in the smaller church and more personal. Oftentimes when we left the church after the service was over, it would be snowing lightly as we came out to go to the car, which just added to the beauty and the wonder of Christmas Eve. But what I remember most was the drive home on those late night Christmas Eves. I would stare out the window and it seemed that the sky was always perfectly clear with stars shining so brightly you felt like you could just reach right out and touch them. And it wasn't hard to imagine one of those stars being the same one that shone over Bethlehem many, many years ago, or the one that I could be seeing, the same night sky the shepherds saw so long ago. The air seemed crisp and cold, but we were warm inside the car, a little tired after the long day and the late night service, but there was a feeling of peace and contentment filling my heart. All the way home, I would gaze out the window at the dark night sky with the stars shining so brightly. The window would be frosted around the edges sometimes if it was really cold outside, and I would just be amazed at the beauty and calm of those Christmas Eve nights. We were about the only car on the road, or might meet 1 or 2 others, but it was just like we were the only ones there. So ever since those long ago car rides home on Christmas Eve, those kinds of memories are what fill my mind and heart this time of year. I recall the peace and the wonder that was so magnificently displayed on those cold winter nights as I gazed at the stars. To think that God, who created each and every one of those stars and knows them all by name, cared about us so much that he sent his son to be born among us. Because of what God has done for me, for all of us, I can be at peace in all the circumstances of my life because I know I am safe and secure in his hands. May the peace of Christmas live deeply in your hearts this year and in all the days and years to come. Suddenly a great company of the heavenly host appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace to those on whom his favor rests." May God bless you at this Christmas Advent time.